I'm Brian. I write for Brian's book blog. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? That's a pretty easy one. I've been meaning to start one for a while. I follow a couple really, really good booktubers, especially Audio Shelf. Those two just have great chemistry, and I really like their videos. They always make me smile. I don't know how close to what they do I will do. They're doing a lot of long reviews, maybe 10 to 20 minutes. I'm hoping to get maybe a lot shorter, 2 to 5 minutes. But yeah, I just like their channel. So I tweeted at them today and told them if this is good or bad, it's their fault. So there's my shout out to you guys, and thank you for being a follower of mine for a while. So the next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? So audiobooks, that's something I'm hoping to bring that a lot of others aren't doing right now. A lot of people are doing book blogs and doing a lot with books, but not a lot of people are doing audiobook stuff. So one of the things I'm hoping to bring here is some reviews of audiobooks, hopefully utilizing some of the 5-minute long clips you get from Audible, along with, I'm hoping to have some interviews with some narrators and authors as well, which I have done before. And on this channel, you should see some of those old interviews we did with about an hour-long video podcast. But that's what I'm hoping to do. We'll see if that works out, but that's my hopes. The third question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? So getting to meet some more booktubers. I'm not friends with a ton of them. I just think this is a unique way to get to know more people in the community. I'm hoping to get some new friendships out of this, along with some, continue to have better relationships with the people that I already have relationships with, build some stronger relationships with narrators and authors alike. So the fourth question is, why do you love reading? So this is I can give a very long-winded answer to this, but the short-winded answer is I absolutely love that a book can take me somewhere. That's the easiest way to say it. I love that, especially an audiobook with a great performance. R.C. Bray's The Martian, his performance of The Martian, Jeffrey Kafer's performance in pretty much everything he does, especially like David Wood books, C.T. Phipps books. And then you've got, Scott Brick doing a lot of old Crichton books and a lot of books in general. So there's also like Ray Porter, his performance of pretty much any Jonathan Mayberry book is amazing. So, but yeah, they can take you to another world. I said I was going to be short-winded, and I'm not. You can take you to another world, great performances. So the fourth question is, what book or series got you into reading? So a long time ago, when I was in high school, we read a book in class. Actually, the teacher, who was very monotone, read a book in class, Animal Farm by George Orwell, that was very, very good. But I found myself reading ahead in class. I found myself reading ahead because I really liked it. I had a mentor who was a teacher that lived down the street from me when I was growing up. I was staying late after class the one day, waiting for him to take me home. And I walked over to the English teacher's class and said, hey, I really liked Animal Farm. What would you suggest? And, he told me 1984. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, what the hell is this book about? And this is probably the copy I own from them. This is a pretty old copy of it, but I had to read it. I read through it. I absolutely loved it. I flew through it. And that kind of started the love, at least when I was a teenager. I then picked up a lot of Crichton, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, which I really enjoyed. A lot of people don't know that in all, I think, 5 movies there are now, there's at least a little thing that Crichton wrote in one of the 2 books that he wrote in the Jurassic Park series. And then, so I kind of faded off when I was in college, and kind of the little bit of time in between, I was taking care of my grandfather, and basically I fell away for quite some time. Over 10 years I wasn't really reading, which bums me out now because I missed out on so many good books. But I was sitting at home trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I was playing Xbox, like playing a game like Madden at night. So I decided to try an Audible trial. I had heard nothing but good things about The Martian, And I picked it up, and R.C. Bray and Andy Weir just transported me to an absolutely new world. Andy Weir's writing in that novel is top notch. It's funny, it's poignant, it is so well done, and R.C. Bray's performance of it is one of the best performances I've ever heard in an audiobook. And I understand that's kind of the first book I had, audio-wise, that I liked, but man, it really just got me right back in. So that would be the one. So the next question is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Just as I said, that question alone is a great one. I love watching the Booktube Newbie tag, because it does give you a kind of introduction to a person, to the channel, what they're hoping to accomplish. But another one I really like is, I like to ask what books somebody didn't like and why. Sometimes it's just an author. Mine, for example, I'm going to out myself a little bit here. I am not the biggest fan of Stephen King. I looked because I do own a first edition of It, but the way Stephen King writes, for example, is too long-winded for me. Other people love it, and that's okay, and I'm okay with that. But that question, when you ask somebody, especially a booktuber, I don't want anybody to throw anybody under the bus, but I think it's an interesting way to learn something new about why or what kind of books somebody reads or listens to. So the next one is a really interesting one. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Time. As I said, I work full time. I'm married. I have a dog. That takes up a lot of my time in general. And then I come home. I write my book blog, probably more nights than I don't. I'm listening to the audiobooks. So that's taking up some more time. And then obviously taking time to sit down in front of a camera, record, edit, upload, promote. That's all going to take some time. So the real reason I wanted to do this is I like to challenge myself, and I've been doing the book blog for 4 years straight now. I read about 150 books a year. I'm not going to do 150 videos, but I'd like to, promote some when I have the opportunity or the time. I don't have a set schedule yet. I'm hoping to maybe not, because as soon as you do that and you fail, you feel like you don't get it, you feel like you failed. So I'm not setting myself up for failure. I just wanted to get this video kind of started and go from there. When did you start reading? I already kind of talked about that. Reading for fun in high school, which sounds weird because a lot of people my age in their 30s had reading beat out of them in high school, and I happened to be lucky, and I really fell in love with reading then. Where do you read? So I have a 30-minute commute to and a 30-minute commute from work every day. That's one of the biggest. I have an hour a day in the car where I can't do anything else. And then, as I mentioned earlier, when I was reading The Martian, I do it when I'm playing Xbox, but I do it when I'm playing a game where I don't need the sound. So when I play Madden, I don't need the announcers to tell me I scored a touchdown. I know that I did. I play a lot of sports games at night to kind of calm down from the day, and that is easily my longest listening time. I probably listen to an hour to 2 hours at night, so that's pretty cool for me. But yeah, that's when I listen and read my books. And then what kind of books do I like to read? That's the final question. I'm all over the place. I really, really enjoy anything that takes me to a new world, or in the world we're in, takes me to a new idea that I've never heard before. So that includes science fiction, techno thrillers, bio thrillers. So I already mentioned some authors that I like. You've got Andy Weir's The Martian. That's a great one that took me to a new world. Michael Crichton always did it on Earth, but he always did incredible technology. He was 20 to 30 years ahead of his time. My bookshelf's over here, so I'm just kind of cheating a little bit here. Bio thriller wise, you've got Robin Cook and Richard Preston. Those two authors really kind of tack that one on for me. I like horror. I like a lot of horror. I really like horror audiobooks. I hate horror films, or I very much dislike horror films. I think they rely too much on the jump scare. So I really like horror audiobooks because you really can't do a jump. In an audiobook you could, in a book you definitely can't. But I think you're forced to write a scary story, period. You're not forced to say, the story is, you know, a little scary, and I'm going to scare the crap out of them by, you know, having something jump out of nowhere. So, that's another genre I really like. And thrillers and mystery in general. And honestly, recently, I've gotten into some romance, especially romantic comedy. I don't know why it took me so long. I absolutely love rom-com movies. 10 Things I Hate About You, 13 Going on 30. You can kind of go down a list there. There's quite a few of them that I really like. So I listened to a few last Christmas, a couple of Christmas-themed ones, and then just a couple other ones. And they're a really, really nice break when it comes to how heavy and intense the books that I listen to are. So it's been a really nice and new change for me to listen to some romance, especially rom-coms, but it is a new genre that I'm not ashamed to say that I like. So that's it for me, though. I'm Brian. I write for Brian's Book Blog. I just wanted to say hi. You know, thank you so much for watching the channel. If you sat through this whole video, I appreciate you very much. And from here on out, have a great one.